welcome back to, this is number 9 in the Whimsical Women of the World series. I am stoked for today. I found this picture on Canva. Oh my gosh, but like the milky skin and the like piercing blue eyes and the pink hair, I can't even take it. I cannot even take it. I guess you would say she's of mixed ethnicity. She's so beautiful. I just have to draw her. So yeah, just her bone structure is like, oh, and her eye, like I don't even think there's a more beautiful human on the planet than this woman. But you know, it's funny, I was staring at her and I noticed look how funny her ears are. So look how unsymmetrical they are. This ear is much smaller and up higher, but this is a great example of how humans, look how funny that is, how humans are all, you know, nobody's perfect. Even perfect people aren't perfect. So I love that. Caught that. That's like what you get when you just do nothing but draw faces all day, is you start noticing all the little things, which is I just never get tired of it. I really don't. Okay, so let's get started. You know where we start, right? We are starting with our head oval. Well, this one I want to make sure that it is going to be, see, it's a little crooked. I'm going to make sure to do a few hundred more. It's kind of getting warmed up this morning. Also want to make sure that it is, there we go, centered. See how sometimes you have to do like a million? That's normal. Better do a million and kind of work up to the right shape here. I was also getting a little tilty, so it's okay. Just obliterate the 900 ones we don't want. Easy peasy. Okay, so first and foremost, I think I'm actually going to get her head shape kind of formalized first before, well, I'm going to drop the vertical and horizontal, and then I'm going to actually work on her bone structure because her hair doesn't cover up anything. It really needs to be spot on. I don't even know how to draw hair like this. This series has been phenomenal for myself for learning and improving. And it's just, you know, people say like, how do you get good? I'm like, I'm still learning and improving and practicing, and it never stops. Plus I just enjoy it. This whole series has been a really healthy challenge, and just doing it with so many people is the most fun of all. All right, so we got the chin is kind of like, it's like a straight line there at the bottom. Her face is just like perfection. I can't even get over it. She would be a face of the world, right? She's no doubt, has quite a few different ethnicities running through her, but she is gorgeous. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous as a result. I have a really hard time making, faces to me are like vases where you can do one side and then trying to get the other one to match is really challenging. So you know, it does not come easily for me to whip out a perfectly symmetrical face. Now, it's like it's straight down to the eye line, and then her cheeks curve out on either side. Now, they're, again, where we know they're not perfectly symmetrical, but it also doesn't mean that they're super wonky either. So you have to just kind of go slowly. This is also where I really have a hard time because my head, in order to see well, needs to be where the camera is. So that's not good for you guys. So excuse me if my head gets in the way for a second. I just need to see directly down on my paper. And sometimes this just takes a while to get going. Excuse me, my dog is having a doggy play date next door, so I need to make sure that she's not overstaying her welcome. So my ringer is on. I apologize for that. Oh gosh, I love her face so much. I think it actually comes up more on the sides. And then even comes out here. I'm being super nitpicky, but it's just so yummy, yummy. It's like this, her chin, and then it's like this perfect springboard. So see how I'm trying to find a good balance where you have straight across the bottom, and then it shoots out on either side. I'm struggling to get that even on both sides. And then it kind of hits to like a certain point, and then it changes direction. It comes up, and then right before the eye line, it like bulges out, and that's where the cheeks are. I can't talk because I'm concentrating so hard. Okay, so we have in by the temples, out just below the eye line, and then it comes down, and then this point on the bottom, it changes directions again. Oh. And then we can see if that's good. And then we're gonna pop a neck on, and the neck is gonna go kind of between these 2 points. I'm so excited to do this one. All right, so we're working our way around. Now I'm gonna even go as far as to sketch the hair. So again, as always, now that we're on number 9, we know how this goes. The hair has volume. It also grows, on top and inwards of the oval. So even though our hair is like 1 centimeter long, it still comes into the oval shape and doesn't sit on top. So we're gonna come here, and I'm just following what I see here, and then it comes down right to the eye line, basically. And then her hair here comes up. Now my reference photo is cut off. So, I have to kind of improvise on what's happening up top here, but we're gonna come out basically, and it follows the shape of the head super closely. And then I can't wait to draw these little squiggly wiggly things, which again, I have no idea how to draw, but I will figure it out. So we have this sort of like hat looking thing, which I think is funny. And I don't think there is this much volume because it's really, her head is almost like shaved and then just growing back. So I'm gonna have it be closer, and I'm just kind of like sketching the outline in, and then we will do the little squiggly wigglies on top later. But I'm just getting the main shape down. It still looks too tall. That's funny. All right, we'll figure out that as we go. So kind of just one thing at a time. All right, let's keep it moving. Keep it moving on. Oh my God, I don't know why I have to burst into song. I can't make anything lately without singing through it. Okay, so now let's get the actual guidelines in here. So we had our eye line and our chin, and we know when we divide that in half is where we get that is not in half. Is here. This bottom is throwing my eyes off here. Okay, so this half of this one is down here. And then that in half is the lippy lips. Oh yes, we have our infamous guidelines in. And you know what comes next. At this point, you guys should be old pros by now. So we have our eye line. I mean our eye line. Well, yeah, it is our eye line. We have our eyes. And our ears, you can see this one again is kind of, the top of it slices through her ear. She has good ears because they like conform right to her head. So it goes from the nose, the bottom of the nose line. She's got a funny little bump out in there. So there's one ear. And then over here, her ear is again really crooked. Yeah, it's a really funnily crooked actually. So I'm like trying to debate if I should fix it. I mean, it is Whimsical Women, so I can kind of do whatever I want. Isn't that the best? But that is how it looks. This side is that much longer. I'm gonna bring it up so they're a little bit more even. They look really different one than the other. It's just the funniest thing to me. So that one, yeah, that one is, okay, maybe I need to make this one longer. I don't think I can like purposefully make it, well, like so different, even though that really is what's happening. I'm making them the same, more or less. Hi, Zoe. This one starts way up higher. That's what's so weird. I'm gonna shorten this one down. I'm correcting your face. You're welcome. Okay, so they're more or less even Steven. And I love she's got all those cool earrings in. All right, so her nose. So I'm seeing this for her nose. I kind of have this shape. And then there is this shape. It's kind of like that. And then her nose, her mouth is this. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. I love this part because I can see how insanely off the hairline is. Although actually I need to put the eyebrows in first and then we'll see, but I think it needs to come down. It really is, shows you how much into that oval you actually need to go. All right, so I'm gonna work on shoring up all of the facial features. So, oh my God, I'm like, this girl is breathtaking. All right, so at the corner of my oval, I'm gonna start with the little tear duct and her eyes are very, well, her eye opening is very tiny, but then she's got these glorious lids. And what's cool is I think they put like hot pink makeup on under, like here, which is so pronounced. So I'll make sure we have a space for that. It probably actually needs to be even wider. But that's called the wet line. All right, just gonna do one side at a time. Then I'm gonna come over here. Again, we start with the little V. For the tear duct. And then we're gonna come across here. And then again, we have that big wet line where we get to put pink marker. I'm like already looking forward to it, which is gonna go under. And that comes down. All right, now this is where I have to like say, excuse me, and put my head in the way because this is a moment that's important to make the eyes match. I can already see that I think this one is lower than this one. So So that's just what happens sometimes. But that's also because it's a byproduct of me and my camera setup. I'm trying to always keep my head out of the camera. It's super hard to work over your work when you can't work over your work. So I'm going to try again and see how it looks. This is really hard. My pencil is not sharp and I'm too lazy to go sharpen it. Even though I did find a good pencil sharpener after a million years. All right, so this one looks really skinny and small, but actually I think that's correct. It's this one that's going to be too big. There is a big space between her eye and her big cheekbone, so that's not wrong. So this one I'm actually going to make smaller. And this comes up here. It's kind of crazy how tiny the human eye is. It's really, really small. And I'm going to make these, do my little extendo trick on the eye. What are they called? Tear duct. I don't know why I can't remember that. And so one of my YouTube fans corrected me. She was like, you say fulcrum, it's philtrum. And it annoys me every time you say it. And I'm like, oh, well, sorry, I'm just human. And yes, I was saying it wrong, but now I know. So thanks for telling me that I'm annoying you. So funny. They're not wrong to correct me. I'm just not sure you need to spell out the fact that I'm annoying. I'm sure that is annoying. Oh, so now that's way too big. Now I feel like her eyes are just too far apart, which is why I'm always so careful to do the 3 placeholders, but actually I think maybe not, because by the time you like have the highlight and then all the shading and then the nose bridge and then the highlight, you end up taking up that space. So I'm just gonna say it's good. I just need to like do one more rendition of this. I want to make sure I have that space where I can put in that awesome pink makeup. All right, now we want to make sure that we have our, again, excuse my big head in the way for a second, but this has to go be right. So we just have a little peekaboo here of the iris, and the rest is being cut off by the eyelid. Excuse my head. And again, we're gonna have most of it cut off. And again, this is like when I need to make sure that everything is where it needs to go. I think we're okay. And then when the pupil goes in, I'm actually going to do the pupil now because it helps me, again, to determine if I'm doing everything correctly. Now, even the pupil, I think I did it too small. Excuse my brain in the way. I know it's a really big brain. I'm just making sure that my pupils are in the middle. And then like the photo, I can see like, oh, this one's a little bit more open than how I have it drawn. Because I do see more of that. I can actually almost see the whole pupil in this one. And then this one, it is kind of cut off like that. It just comes up a little bit more. This is being super fussy. You don't have to be this fussy, like, at all, actually. Trust me. Pretty much my whole life up to this point has not been being fussy, and I get along just fine. Whoop. Okay. But the eyes, you know, the eyes are kind of important. So it's worth just hanging out there for a little bit longer to make sure you got everybody covered. Make sure you got it all. Oh, I cannot wait to like be done already. It's just so awesome. All right, so now we have to like kind of figure out her beautiful freaking face. So she has these gorgeous deep set eyelids. So I'm just kind of roughing in like her eyelid wrinkles because it helps me see how glorious they are. Kind of here and here. And then she also has these kind of, I wouldn't say they're wrinkles, but you can see like some lines under her eyes, but it's just lends to her beauty. I don't know why lines on the face have to be a negative thing. Who decided that? All right, so up from the tear duct, we are going to be sculpting these perfect eyebrows. I think this woman might literally be the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. And I love that she's like a mash of different ethnicities. It makes her just, it's like our whole planet coming together in one human. It's amazing. So we have this, and then we're coming up from this side too. I mean, Lord, look at her. Just stunning. And these big old eyebrows that come around the corner here, and then they end up in like a little sliver of a line. Boop. Yes, so fun. All right, and then these lines actually come up like all the way here. And then we have our ridiculously perfect nose. All right, so I already have the shape kind of molded out here for myself. So I'm just outlining the bottom, and then it's curves up. It's a little bit wider than that. So it's kind of comes this way, and we'll do this way. I have like kind of like these handlebars. And then they turn back, and then they turn back. And these are the nostrils, at least as I see them. And then we can put our parentheses on, which is just the outward part of the nostril. Have I mentioned the fact that I'm obsessed with this photo? Obsessed. And it's kind of like comes in like here, and then that's where the shading kind of takes off there and there. But again, we're not going to really see those lines. I still have my guidelines in here that I'm going to need to erase as well. And then her mouth. Why is she so beautiful? It's like killing me. All right, let's get these beautiful, beautiful lips sculpted. All right, so she has a very, very subtle, like, angle here. It's hardly anything. And coming down here on the sides. And it's kind of like if you drop lines down from the eyes, it's just a little bit over from that. So she has sort of a small mouth. And I'm going to put the line across the middle next. And she has a very full mouth, so it's kind of like pucker. It's almost like you can see like little, it's like a squiggly line in the middle because her lips are so fully formed. I don't know what the right term is for that. And then it's so cute. It's like comes down, and then there's like it's full right at the bottom, and then it scoots back up top. Have I mentioned I'm obsessed with this model? She's like perfect. I can't get over it. All right, so we can get rid of some of the lines, the guidelines, but first I want to, this is the last opportunity to shore up the face, and I think her chin needs to come down just a little bit. So we have her jawline sweeps here, and then we're gonna just extendo the chin just a little bit. Nothing crazy, but it was looking like too little. So give her her chin back. Trying to do her justice. The pressure is on when someone is this perfect and you have to draw them. Like, I feel like I hope I do her justice. She deserves it. Well, everybody deserves it. But I'm doing my best. I really am, girlfriend. All right, so now we can finally erase the guidelines everywhere. And get ready for some color. Oh, and you know what I need to do too is adjust her hairline. People always ask me about my eraser. It is, no joke, a fantastic eraser. It's called the Vanish Eraser. I buy mine at Jerry's Artorama. You can all for like $2. You can also buy them from Amazon, although the last time I checked, they were like $7. Like they come with my Jerry's Fun Fab drawing kit that I sell there, but you can also just buy them individually. I love it. It's like, they're almost like too good. It just picks everything up really cleanly. And I love, love, love them. All right, let me just scoot her hairline where it needs to be. So we have the hair going here. So this, I think, needs to come up a little bit more before it comes in. I'm filming. Okay. So I have hair to here, and then it kind of it just goes to there. Then we have this comes up, and then this. So I'm just looking at like the relationship between her hair. I think it comes to about here. So I needed to drop it down actually quite a bit, which makes sense because if there was the oval, I should have known better. I do know that it takes up space. Zoe! Hi, girlfriend. Zoe, I haven't seen you in so long. So we got a dog, and she's been hiding in my boys' rooms for the past 6 weeks. This is like the first time she's come to see me because Maggie's next door having a doggy play date. Zoe, it's so good to see you, girlfriend. Oh, I've missed you. Luckily, I have 3 boys who she basically lives in their rooms, and from what I hear, demands full attention at all times. So she is definitely still getting lots of love, but not from me. Oh, she's drinking my paint water. It's clean, don't worry. There's no paintbrushes in there. All right, so we're dropping down the hairline. It's a cat bum in my way. And then, again, it's a little hard because I can't really see what's going on, but basically I'm going to bring this in because her hair is like, it's pretty much shaved. So it has to come in a bit as well. And again, I have no idea how I'm going to draw the hair. I'm actually going to maybe just take off the top because it's all going to become little squiggles. on the top there. So just super duper duper lightly putting the top on. Yeah, I have to figure this out. I have no idea. I don't know how to draw that, but it's pink, so I'm pretty excited to figure it out. It's like yeah. Oh my gosh, so much fun. I love, 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 love this challenge so much. I want to do 1,000,000. I might just do that. All right. Okay, I think she's ready for some color. Bring it on. Oh, I just realized, oh, that's like a little shadow. She's got like a little openy, mouthy thing. And also, can we just talk about these cheek phones for a second? I said cheek phones. I don't really think they're phones. But man, oh man, I cannot wait. This part is like so sculpted. And I feel like her face could be a little wider to make room for the magnificence of the cheekbones that we get to draw in color and depict by shading. Yes, getting a little bit more wiggle room in here and here as well. I'm going to go get my dog before she has a heart attack from playing so hard outside. A tired dog is a happy dog, right? Or maybe that's kids. I think it applies to both pretty equally, actually. All right. Oh my gosh. I can't wait to get my coloring on. Let's do this. Now listen, I know that markers are not for everyone, so I'm just going to give you some quick layering tips. So regardless of whatever art supply you want to use to color in your amazingly hip UK chick, you can have success. As always, it's a really good idea to work in layers. That way you're not trying to bite off more than you can chew. I used to never work this way. I didn't have the patience. I didn't want to spend the time, but I have to really strongly encourage you to work in layers if you want to slow down the process, but really just with the main objective of having better coloring success. So your first step, no matter what you are working on and what you're working in, is to lay down a foundational color. Now, this is there's no rules. You can work light to dark or you can work dark to light. And you can see over the course of the last 9 weeks, if you've been following my Whimsical Women series, that I've done both. So you just simply need to decide. And with markers, you can really go either way. So this project, I decided to work light to dark and really becomes everything in between as well along the way. So you I just kind of left it open to like doing whatever I had to do to make myself happy with the process. So this is layer 3 that you're seeing right now. And if you can see, pause the video to see where the shading is going. This is one of my favorite shading patterns because the light is hitting the face in a way that it's making it completely symmetrical on the face. So whatever you do on the right side, you do on the left side. So it's actually the easiest way to shade a face. So coupled with a reference photo, your results can be super powerful if you just follow along with the designs that you're seeing on the reference photo. And as you can see, this is layer 4. Can you believe we're on layer 4 already? And we're just going darker and darker and darker. Now, when things get really ugly and really scary, what I like to do to kind of chill myself out and to start digging out of the ugly phase is I take a medium to light marker color and I sweep it over the entire face. And what that does is it really helps to blend together all the colors. The alcohol in the markers re-wets all the layers underneath, and it helps to really get things moving, and it really starts blending the markers. And you can even see from the right hand side to the left, like the parts that I put on first start blending faster than the ones on the other side. It's super interesting, and you can actually see it much better in time lapse than you can if you're looking at this in real time, because it happens pretty quickly. So again, I'm going one more layer even deeper to really get those shadows in. The upside of working with alcohol markers is that they dry really much lighter than the way that they go down. They work a lot like watercolors in that regard. So do not freak out when you're putting on your deep shading levels. because it will lighten as it dries. So super cool. So just keep following me. Pause the video. We're doing a very symmetrical shading job here. So no matter what art supply you're working in, just have fun. You're going to layer it on slowly. And I'm just looking at this footage back, and I'm looking at how light the background keeps becoming as I add more layers. So to give her the dark skin that she actually has in real life, we have to really go back in with our dark colors kind of over and over and over. And then, oh, my dog is playing with a squeaky chew toy in the room as I record this. I'm so sorry. But you have to really go back and like reintroduce the darker shadow layers over and over and over again. And then go back with a medium to light color to blend them all in. And we keep repeating this process. And then what happens is we get more developed with the face colors, like the eyeshadow is purple and the lip color is pink. You're going to go away from skin tones and you're going to actually introduce the colors of the makeup. And then that becomes another layer that you can introduce into your face. So big fat confession time. When I was doing your hair, I've never rendered hair like this, not in any media. So I had no idea what I was going to do, and I had no idea if it was going to work. But I kind of just went for it. So after I went over the entire face yet again with that medium tone marker color to, again, blend all the lights and darks together more evenly, at least that was the intent, I kind of just started attacking her hair a little bit. So same thing happened on week, I believe it was 5 when I was doing the African American. I had never done dreads before, so I had no idea what I was doing. So I like to kind of just go for things. So number 1 I'm looking at is what colors do I see? So I saw a light pink and a dark pink. And like with everything in art and coloring, you have to have, or you should use, at least this is my personal rule of thumb, is you take 3 shades of one color to produce a 3-dimensional look. So her hair was pink, so I choose 3 shades, and you'll see I start with the first one, and I'm just doing these super fun squiggles. It's like super kindergarten time, like squiggle, squiggle, squiggle. Then I go in with a darker shade and I do more squiggles, but I'm leaving a lot of the original pink exposed so you can see that. And then I go in yet one more time with a super dark, and then I'll do black at the end, you'll see coming up. As you might be noticing over the course of this series, I'm using colored pencils to either fix my mistakes that I did in marker, to be quite frank, or to like augment or to emphasize certain areas of the face that markers weren't doing it justice, or to add texture to somewhere, to the hair or to the eyebrows. In this case, it's makeup, and kind of deepening it and trying to kind of mimic what I'm seeing on the photograph, because the markers alone couldn't do it. So I'm trying to add a little white for highlights on the eyelids and make them come forward, because her eyelids are the most stunning piece, at least in my opinion, of the photograph. All right, and huge confession time, and my Fun Fab Drawing Club students will know because they're getting these lessons in real time, but this marker color that I'm using to blend the face colors is running out. Like, it is a dry marker at this point, and it's also really shockingly the wrong color, as you can very plainly see. So this kind of happens a lot in that I find my mixed media projects is that my project becomes then a project all about problem solving and what the heck I'm going to do with this giant problem I just created for myself. So I end up just doing the best that I can and just lightly sweeping this completely dry marker over her entire face. And yes, it looks super gross and yellow, but it is too late to turn back now. So I'm combating it the best I can by using muted, more neutral shades of skin tones and even a gray, purple, lavender to try to knock back that yellow, horrible flavor color that I had started. So I did the very best that I could. I think the very, very end result, it looks fine. schnizzle happens. And it's really important that I am very transparent about my experiments and my mishaps and my mistakes, because guys, I'm only human and I'm doing these projects for the first time, just like you. And I learn a lot along the way. And sometimes I make bad decisions or I get surprises too. So all of those little bits and pieces, I just try to take away and to demonstrate to you so that you can hopefully learn from my mishaps and my mistakes so that the same thing doesn't happen to you. So things like I always suggest, like testing out your materials, swatching out your colors, which I thought that I had done clearly not well enough. And hopefully I can minimize the probability that you're going to end up in the same boat as me. To create a continuity between all of the projects in this series, I'm being very intentional about using the same supplies over and over and over. So even if you choose not to use markers ever in your life, you can at least see the patterns and the things that I'm repeating in each project that can hopefully help you take away some good nuggets in whatever art supply that you're choosing to use. So I'm using that same Pentel pocket brush for all the black accents, all of her outlines, that's all her eyebrows and in her hair. So I'm using that in every project, as well as my white colored pencil to add sort of glowing highlights, and as well as incorporating some grays into the shadow that helps knock back the super way too warm colors and shadows that I have, as well as the final touch always, which is adding the super fun white paint marker to do highlights on the nose, on the eyelids, on the brow bone, on the lips, chin, whatever little sparkles I see in my photograph, I always try to recapture them on my drawing. It's the most fun, it's the easiest and really satisfying and very fast way to make sparkly, high impact, glimmery eyes and little facial features. And those white highlights can pack the biggest punch, and they are so fun. So I hope you do not hold back when you're doing your own highlights in your own projects. I hope you're daring with your shadows. I hope you're brave with your highlights and using your best, juiciest white paint marker. And I'm ecstatic to meet you again next week for week 10 of the Whimsical Women of the World series. And if you haven't caught up on the other episodes, click the box here and you can catch up right away. I'll see you next week.